Even though you might not love who you are or where you are, still love it, because soon you're going to be a little lighter. Soon you're going to start getting the wonderful results.
Hi there, I'm Chaneen. As a certified health coach and kinesiologist, I help busy women in their 40s who feel tired, overwhelmed, anxious, frustrated and stuck to live their best years in great health and balance. Together, we'll explore a life that reflects intentional living and lays the foundation for you to live your life's purpose and flourish in your 40s. Welcome to Becoming You at 40. Welcome back to the show where we share knowledge to empower women to take care of themselves so that they can live an abundant life through their 40s and 50s and beyond. And I'm joined today by a very special guest. Barbara O'Neill is in studio with me, and she is not only an incredible teacher, she also advocates for natural healing, and she blesses people all over the world by sharing her knowledge and her views on how the body can heal itself if you give it the right conditions. Before we dive in, I'd love to invite you to join the Becoming You at 40 community by following this podcast. It's a gentle space for women who want to feel seen, supported and understood. If that's you, go ahead and hit follow now. I'd be honored to walk this journey with you. So Barbara, thank you very much for joining me today. I'm really so excited to have you here.
It's a pleasure, one of my favorite subjects.
Perfect, then you are at the right place. And we are going to talk about the hidden health crisis for women in their 40s and 50s. And one of the first questions that I would like to ask you is, if you think about women entering their 40s and 50s, what are some of the most overlooked health concerns that forms part of this stage?
There certainly are a few, because it's a really a transition, a very change, especially when women have been or are mothers. And at about that age, their children are probably looking at leaving home, going into college or working. I know my children, because we live in the country, they would move to the cities to be trained. And I think that's often overlooked, preparing the ladies for that transition. People used to say to me, Barbara, you put so much into your children. How will you be when they leave home? And I used to say, do you want to see my list? I say, love it when they're there, love it when they go. So, and that's what we women are doing. We're preparing these children for the time when they leave. So I think it's important that ladies consider that. And also, rejoice, there's life after babies.
That's so true. That's so true, yes.
But the other very much overlooked is hormones, because I guess menopause happens between 45 and 55. And that can be also very confronting for a woman. And if the hormones are out of balance, often a lady is usually a little overweight, and no lady is happy to be overweight. It can also affect the emotions a little bit. But the good news is there are answers to that.
And that's why you are here, and that's why you are what you are teaching us as well. And that's why we are so grateful that you are here today. And I think, like you mentioned, it's such a big transition. But in today's world, women, the impact on women is so great, and stress is obviously a contributing factor to women's health in their 40s and 50s. So what is the biggest impact of chronic stress on women and their health?
I think probably one of the biggest impact is media. And of course the media always have very beautiful women on ads and everything. And often when a lady's going into her 40s and 50s, she realizes that she's losing her youth a little bit. But I would like to give the message that there is beauty in every age.
Oh, that's a beautiful message.
There's beauty in every age. And where a lot of women lose their beauty is they don't realize the simple steps that they can take to retain the beauty for every age. And one is the simple fact of drinking water and going to bed earlier and exercising. They're simple things, but each of those take effort.
Yes.
It's so much easier to sleep in. It's so much easier to stay on that device till late. It's so much easier to reach for the hot, sweet coffee instead of the fairly plain glass of water. And it's so much easier not to exercise. So taking the easy way out, it has hard consequences. And people often say to me, Barbara, for your age, you're looking good, you're active, you're fit. I said, yeah, it takes work.
Exactly. I think people can assume that it's just your genes, or maybe you're just someone that's lucky, but that's not true.
No, it's not true. And there's a poem called Choose Your Hard.
Yeah.
Marriage is hard, divorce is hard, choose your hard. Exercising every day, it's hard. But being overweight and unfit is hard. And we get a little tricked when we're young, because it's almost when you're young, whatever you do, you still you still can do so much.
Yeah.
But by your 40s, it's starting to be revealed what you've been doing for the last 20 years. So you choose your hard. I choose my hard, which is making a decision to go to bed early, making a decision to have that water, making a decision to get on the floor and do I got up to 35 push-ups this morning.
Wow.
Ladies push-ups, of course. So it's a decision.
Yes.
And what I find makes it easy is you make an appointment. I have an appointment every day at 6 o'clock to exercise.
All right.
I have an appointment every evening to be in bed by 9 o'clock. So you make appointments, and that glass of water is by my bed. So it takes effort, and it's a choice, because it's so much easier to not do such things.
And I think with the amount of stress that women experience these days, it's so much easier to take the easier route.
It's
just
so
an
much
escape
easier.
route.
And that's why I think it's very important for ladies to stop and take stock of where they can make these changes in their life. Because being overwhelmed, that feeling is, I couldn't be bothered exercising.
Exactly, yeah.
So it sort of tips the scales, and it's making those decisions, because everyone has stress, but it's also looking at your life and what can you shed.
Yes.
Where can you make decisions to make things a little bit easier in your life. I was talking to my daughter when she was 40, and she said, Ma, it's just I take the children to ballet, I take after school and this, how did you do it? And I said, well, we lived in a rainforest, and there was no extracurricular activities. Our extracurricular activities was kids climbing trees, kids playing in the garden. And I said, maybe you've just got a little bit too much. Have a look at, well, what's important to you? Talk to your children. So we're not going to do ballet and gymnastics and basketball and this makes it very difficult for the mother. And what happens is the mother's tired, the mother's overwhelmed, and the mother gets annoyed and the mother gets irritated. And then the children, they want to take off when mum's like that, and you get in this vicious cycle.
Yeah, a negative spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love what you are saying, that you can choose your heart, and that you can prioritize what we want in our life, what is really necessary, Because we can so easily overcomplicate our own lives with having all these extramural activities that our children do. Now, you did mention in the beginning that one of the overlooked aspects of health for women is the hormonal imbalances that they can experience. And what are some of the foundational habits that women can adopt and practice to help support hormonal balance?
Well, we'll go back a little bit. Why is it out of balance?
Yes.
And what women are not told is the dangers of the contraceptive pill.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit like buy now, pay later. And this so-called sexual freedom, women see the results and not even connecting them often that it was that pill that they were on before they had babies or maybe between babies, and now they're going or nearing menopause. They've got weight gain, their libido's dropping, they're starting to get a little anxious where they never used to get anxious, and it starts to spiral down. And what they often reach for is the quick fix, the coffee, bit of sugar in there to give them a lift. How many don't have breakfast?
Yeah.
Breakfast is such an important part of the day. And they wake up thinking, today I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to not have breakfast. And the only way to lose weight is to prevent hunger. How do you prevent hunger? You eat breakfast.
Exactly.
And you eat a decent lunch.
No.
Then you don't have to have much at night. And then you will wake up hungry. But the problem with that caffeine, it gives you a lift, but then it gives you a dump. And what it's also doing to women especially, it's leaching the minerals out of their bones. And now they've got aching bones and they're diagnosed with osteoporosis. And then you get in this vicious cycle. So stopping the coffee is an important one. And I say to ladies, please don't stop right now because you will suffer. So what you do is you just ease off it. If a lady has 3 cups a day, she starts with 3 half cups a day. Or in his book, Caffeine Blues, the author says, he's got a chapter called Coming Off the Bean. And he says, instead of 1 cup of coffee, or you make a cup of coffee, I should say, have half a teaspoon of coffee and half a teaspoon of maybe roasted dandelion root.
Okay, yes.
So in Australia, we've got alternative cereal beverages that have that coffee-like taste, roasted roots. And then every day, a little less coffee, a little more of the alternative. And you can come off the coffee sometimes in a week or 2 without any major symptoms. Some women, it's vomiting, diarrhea, headaches, sleeplessness, no energy. And the lady said, I have to function, and certainly we have to function. So I love the author's way of saying just ease off, just ease off. And just even some ladies find is joining a gym. And some ladies have joined a gym, but they only went once or twice. And some ladies find having a personal trainer, it's like they've got to go because there's a trainer there waiting for them. And that can actually get them onto the start. I know that's what my sister did, just carrying a little extra weight. She's, 50 and not happy with her clothes that she loved. She doesn't fit in anymore, so she chose to get a personal trainer. And once she started losing weight, and she would report to him every week. And of course, when the weight's going, he's happy, she's happy. But once she got to the weight she was happy with, she didn't need her personal trainer anymore. She was sort of now in the habit. And our habits can be our best friends or our worst enemies. And so stopping the coffee, drinking more water, and sugar. In his book, Sugar Blues, William Dufty shows the connection between hormone imbalances and refined sugar.
I think sugar is one of the the most bad substances that we consume, and it doesn't just affect our hormones, it also affects our heart health, our liver. I mean, you teach all of that all over the world. And one of the things that's also very important, and I think sugar also impacts that, is your digestive health and your gut health. And those are basically the foundations, if I understand your teachings correctly. So how does digestive health and gut health impact a woman's midlife symptoms, or what role does it play within the symptoms?
I believe it plays an important role because the scenario I previously mentioned to you, I'm going to lose weight today, I won't have breakfast. And by mid-morning I need something, grab a quick fix, which is a quick, usually sugar thing, biscuit, croissant. And then lunch, I'm on a diet, I'm going to eat lightly. And then at the end of the day, so hungry.
Yes.
So hungry, just overeat, then guilt sets in. And then guilt sets in, tossing to sleep with this big meal in the stomach, and then waking up, and the vicious cycle continues. So it's just breaking that cycle. You see, when the stomach is not working well, it irritates the whole system. There's a nerve called the vagus nerve, and it's called the wanderer, because it starts in the brain, goes down the back of the neck, and weaves through the stomach and the intestines. So when they are unhappy, that directly affects the functioning of the brain. And the brain's not working well, so reach for the coffee.
Yes. And we start again with that very negative cycle.
You see, taking a cup of coffee to give a lift is like taking out a loan to pay off your loan. Eventually there's a deficit. And what it's also doing is aging women. And women don't want to age, but the fact is we all age. And if someone says, oh, you're getting older, Barbara, I say, I am, and I'm loving it. And I also say, do you know, my 2-year-old granddaughter's getting old too.
Oh, sure.
Everyone, every year gets older. Rejoice in that. Rejoice in that. But it's hard to have that attitude when you're overwhelmed, and that's why digestion comes in. Digestion needs breaks between meals. And a lot of people that are trying to lose weight and not eating properly, they'll snack. And that further irritates the stomach. And so just drinking water between meals and aiming to have a meal that's... And by the way, you've got to plan your meal. You know, the worst time to plan lunch is when you're hungry.
Yes, because then you're going to go for all the wrong things.
All the quicks. So, and once you break that vicious cycle that I just mentioned, once you have just a bowl of soup at night, and then you wake up in the morning and you've got a little bit of an appetite, and if you just have a bowl of soup at night, or maybe a banana and a peach, you know, something very light, then your mind is clear and you've got time to plan breakfast.
That makes so sense. Yeah.
And then you start to feel good about yourself, because guilt, it pulls so many people down. And a lot of ladies feel guilty that they're carrying extra weight. They're feeling guilty that they're not happy and enjoying their life, and then they again reach for the quick fixes and sometimes even go to the doctor and get prescribed antidepressants, which might initially mask the symptoms, but they really don't help.
And talking about antidepressants, and I mean, that's just one of the medications that are usually prescribed for women in their 40s and 50s. But a lot of women also struggle with inflammation. It's like inflammation gets revealed in this stage. What are one of the most contributing factors to low impact inflammation that we experience?
It is true, and I always look at the cause, because people say to me, what can you do for inflammation? I say, well, why is it there?
Yes.
And it shouldn't be there. You see, every joint in our body is surrounded by fluid. And I have no pain at all in my joints because I'm well watered. You see, there's no reserve tank on the back. The only water that comes into our body is the water that we drink.
Yes.
So dehydration is a huge contributing factor to inflammation. And also your high acid foods, they cause inflammation. What would they be? They're they're the quick grabs. They're the refined sugars. They're the wheats products. So there's your pasta, there's your croissants, there's your muffins, there's sandwiches, all those quick things. They have an acid effect on the body. And on top of that, yes, we're going back to coffee. In fact, it's so funny, the talks I'm giving, every time I mention coffee, there's this groan.
Nobody likes to hear that their coffee is not good for them.
Here she goes again. But if people say, Barbara, how do you do it? I say, well, I don't drink coffee. I don't drink coffee. Why don't you drink coffee? I love the smell of coffee, but I know what it does to me, and I don't want that. It disrupts the neurotransmitters in the brain. It leaches the minerals out of the body. It causes this acid environment. And also another food that creates an acid environment is meat and dairy products. Probably the only dairy product that would be an organic yogurt or an organic feta cheese, but those hard cheeses and meats. That's why I say to people, it's your choice, but if you want to eat meat, you've got to eat a lot of vegetables. And vegetables are alkalizing, especially your dark green leafies. So just going to more plants, drinking more water, easing off the coffee, most women would find that the inflammation will ease.
And they don't have to suffer in this this age.
It's choosing your hard.
Yeah.
Life is hard, but I thank God we can choose our hard.
Yeah. Now, you obviously talk about whole foods, and that's what you emphasize, and you also emphasize lifestyle as the foundation of health. What is the most misunderstood concepts about nutrition when it comes to women's health?
I think the most misunderstood is that they need calcium and need to have milk for their bones. Because we hear of so many women being diagnosed with osteoporosis. Now, I will never be diagnosed because I will never have the test.
Okay, interesting.
I've just read a book called The Selling of Sickness, showing how the tests are creating these illnesses.
It makes sense.
And so now someone's got a name.
Yes.
And now there's a drug.
Yes.
But drugs never cure disease. They just mask the symptoms. But what I do is I take steps to keep my bones strong. So how do I do that? I do weight building exercises. I do push-ups. I rebound. I keep well hydrated. But the bones aren't made of water. No, they're not. But around the joints to allow my body to move, allow my back to move, it needs to be lubricated. And so we're back again to water. We're mentioning the water quite a few times. So maintaining the health and strength of the body, it has wonderful results. So the hard, I have to tell you, this morning I woke up and it was so nice, especially since I didn't get to bed till late because of kamikaze mosquitoes diving at me. But you know what I did? I just prayed. I said, Father, you opened the Red Sea. Can you just get these mosquitoes to back off? I'd put essential oils over me. And I eased back. So when I woke up, instead of leaping out of bed as I usually do, it was, I'd just like to stay here a bit longer. I must have water. I'd much rather stay. So there's this choice.
Yes.
There's this choice. And this morning I had to leave home at 7:30 to make this interview.
Oh, sure.
And it was 7:15 and I knew I needed to drink water. But this often happens. Our feelings are saying, no, just stay. This is so nice. This is so nice. But I must. I must have it. And that's a lecture I'm giving today on the mind. That we've got our limbic system, our feelings and our emotions, and then we've got our decision-making part of the brain. And our decisions determine our destiny. So those decisions we make has results.
Yes.
So the good news is I did get up. I did have my water. And there's a result of that. And that was hard. that was hard because my whole body just said, just stay.
Yes. But it comes back to what you said right in the beginning. It's all about intentional living.
Yeah.
And you often say, for every action, there's a reaction.
That's
so
right.
staying in bed, you're going to be late.
Yes.
Getting up, you're going to feel good.
Yes.
Having the water. So,
Yes.
and I think a lot of people miss that it's actually the basics. It's back to basics.
It is the basics. And what I like to lecture on is this decision-making part of the brain. It can be weakened and it can be strengthened. So if that is strengthened, it's easier to make the decisions. How does it be strengthened? Here we go again.
The water.
Back to water.
Yeah.
And back to coffee. Do you know, coffee dehydrates. So the water and having most of your food at breakfast and lunch, allowing you to go to bed a little earlier, making sure you've got open windows. And I laid there thinking, I can shut my windows and that'll stop the kamikaze mosquitoes. Oh, but I love that fresh air.
Yeah.
And I was just getting sick of whacking myself in the head so much. And I just thought, I'm not going to now. I'm just going to hear them. And just this mental attitude. And my prefrontal cortex is strong purely because of what I do. I keep it well hydrated. I last night for supper I had a banana, probably 6 grapes, half a mango, and maybe 5 cashews. And I had that about 6:30, and I was in bed at 9. So then that's probably almost totally digested by then.
Yes.
So you see, there is a formula.
Yeah.
And if you abide by this formula, you get the results.
What are some of the best nutritional tips that you can give to women?
So the best nutritional tips, I'd say, ladies, to keep your skin beautiful, to slow down aging, yes, keep well hydrated, but also remember, ladies, that your skin, your hair, your eyes, your bones, they're all an illustration of the nutritional status of the body. So fruits and vegetables are very important, not only for our colon, so that it moves every day. And by the way, if it only moves every second day, you're not going to have very nice skin.
Yeah.
The evacuation, the daily evacuation has an effect on the skin. So fruits and vegetables are very, very important because especially your vegetables high in minerals. And minerals glues us together. One of the problems with coffee is the way it's leaching those minerals out. Also proteins. Proteins are very important. So my protein for breakfast this morning was lentils. And I had some cashews and some almonds. And my fibre this morning was strawberries. And the beauty of lentils is there's fibre in the lentils as well. And good fats. And fats keeps that skin nice and nourished. Some ladies say, Barbara, what do you put on your skin? I say, nothing. But you know what I do, eh? I always travel with my olive oil. And I pour a little olive oil on my lentils. I pour a little on my sourdough bread. I put it in my stir fries. I sprinkle it on my salads. See, the oils you eat on the inside will nourish your skin on the outside. And what I just mentioned to you, that was the fibre, the proteins, the fats. They're the 3 essential food groups. And when someone's just reaching for the fast, they're actually consuming the non-essential in high amounts, which is the carbohydrates. Carbohydrates aren't bad, but most people just overdo them.
Yes, yeah. And you mentioned, being constipated. I'm sometimes shocked when ladies come to my practice and they always have this little form that they fill in, just an introduction, and then one of the questions is, are you regularly constipated? And some women would write there that they would only go like twice a week, sometimes only once a week. And it's actually regular that I find that.
Yeah, that's incredibly sad. And one of the reasons why women are aging too early, we do age. Rejoice in your age. I can't wait till I get more grey hair. I haven't got much because neither of my parents had much. My husband's white because both of his parents were white at 50. There is an inherited factor there, but women are aging too young. And the colon, it's like only emptying your rubbish bin once a week. The whole house would smell very bad.
Yes.
And ladies, it doesn't matter how much perfume you put on, that smell is going to come through. It's like having a smelly garbage bin and thinking, I'll just put perfume all over it. I'll just swat the flies. No. Empty the garbage bin and you won't need perfumes and you won't need fly swats.
And emptying the garbage bin goes back to drinking your water.
Goes back to drinking your water, because one of the functions of the colon is to take water out so stools are formed. And so if more water is taken out than should be taken out, which happens in dehydration, then we're left with rabbit pellets and cement in the colon, and it's not going to evacuate as regular as it should. And that's where your fruits and vegetables are so good, because they're high in fibre. But a lot of people say, yeah, but I've got to get to work and it takes a while to eat an apple. Whereas that cereal, put it in the bowl, put the milk on, wet tissue paper, down the hatch, out the door. But now you're hungry 2 hours later.
Yes, yeah.
And you're reaching again for the constipators, which are the refined grains, the sugars.
Barbara, if you have one message for women about their bodies, what would you like to tell them?
My message to women is love who you are.
Oh, wow.
Love what you are. Love where you are right at this moment, because this moment will never happen again. Love the moment. Now, you might not like where you are. You might not like what you are, but love it, because it's a step in faith.
Yes.
Because you're now going to drink more water. You're now going to ease off your coffees. You're now going to eat more fruits and vegetables. You're now going to make an appointment with yourself to exercise every day. You're going to aim for bigger breakfast and lunch and lighter evening meal. So you're going to start losing weight. And because you're eating more fruits and vegetables and drinking more water, you'll start to go more regularly, and your skin will show it, your hair will show it. So even though you might not love who you are or where you are, still love it, because soon you're going to be a little lighter. Soon you're going to start getting the wonderful results. And one of my daughters said to me when she was 5, Mum, I'm going to grow up in a minute.
In a minute.
Now, it took her another 10 years. She had great faith.
Oh, shame.
So what you can say is, I'm going to be slim in a minute. My skin is going to be so much better in a minute, because now you know what to do. And basically our destiny is in our own hands.
I love that. And I love that you say we just need to love ourselves and everything will follow.
It will. It will. Love where you are. And a woman that loves where she is, what she is, and loves who she is, that has a beauty in itself.
It does. I think that's part of why I host the show. And the name of the show, Becoming You at 40, is all about growing into your essence. It's all about loving yourself and becoming the woman that you were called to be. And for me, that starts with the basics. That starts with taking care of her health. That's where everything starts.
It does start with the basics. And there's a book by Leslie Kenton, I think her name is, called Passage of Power. And it shows how women rejoice as you're nearing menopause. It's a passage of power.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful passage of power. And I was on a platform recently with a lady doctor, and she said, oh, these women going through menopause and taking all these synthetic hormones, you know, they've got to. And I thought, no. And she said, you know, in the old ladies, a woman just went to bed for a couple of years after she'd had her children. It was time to stop. And I said, no. I was pregnant or breastfeeding non-stop for 14 years, and I loved every moment of it. And you might say, Barbara, how could that be? That must have been overloading. Well, I drank my water, and I went to bed early, and I exercised every day, and I drank nothing that would harm me, and I knew that the coffee would harm me, so there's no need. And that's the message we'd like to give to every woman. There is no need to go to bed for a year. There's no need to reach for the HRTs or the synthetic hormones. The remedy is actually quite simple. And in Psalm 104 verse 14, the Bible says, God gave herbs for the service of man. And there is a wild yam cream. And every country I find has their own yam creams. And they apply it to the skin. And what it does, it works with the pathways in the body to restore hormone imbalance. So yes, lifestyle, but also there are herbs that can help.
Yes, it can help. Now, we are wrapping up today. So I have basically one question left. What is the one daily practice that you would like women to adopt?
That's a very hard question.
It is, yeah, because I'm limiting you.
One. Water.
Water.
Take it to bed with you. Have it next to your bed. It's the first thing that you do. Because we are 85% water from the neck up, 75% from the neck down.
Sure.
So it's just so vital.
Thank you very much. Barbara, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy schedule while you are in South Africa, and that you made time to be here. I appreciate the way that you teach and that you make it so simple for us to understand and to relate. And I really wish you a very safe trip back to Australia. I'm sure you are very excited to see your loved ones.
I am. I think it's 4 days now.
Oh, sure. You are counting the hours. So thank you very much, and may you travel back safely.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure because it's my favourite subject. I love to show women how they can be empowered and enjoy life to the most.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you are curious about how we can work together or just want to explore what support could look like for you, I'd love for you to connect. You can contact me through my website at www.dayenucare.co.za. I'll also leave the link in the description box. Your transformation doesn't need to feel overwhelming. You just need the right support behind you. And I'd be honored to walk that journey with you. So please follow the link in the description box and connect with me. Until next time, be gentle with yourself. You are becoming someone extraordinary.